Imagine waking up in a world you barely understand, where every decision feels like a game, but the stakes are as real as life itself. He wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't his life. Yet here he was, trapped in an unfamiliar place with rules he couldn't comprehend. He was an ordinary person, content with his unremarkable life, until one day, an accident sent him tumbling into a bizarre reality, one that mirrored the dating sim he begrudgingly played for his sister. But this was no ordinary game. Here, losing didn't just mean restarting. It meant losing everything. The bright, vibrant world around him felt artificial, but the fear, the pain, and the consequences were all too real. Would he be able to navigate this unforgiving realm, where even the smallest misstep could cost him dearly? This new world wasn't just strange. It was structured like a hierarchy, where social status determined your worth. Nobles ruled with an iron fist, and commoners had no choice but to obey. Worse still, he found himself in the body of an insignificant background character. In this world, he wasn't the hero or even the villain. He was a nobody, destined to fade into obscurity. Yet, he couldn't ignore the looming danger around him. If he wanted to survive, he needed to play by the game's rules while bending them to his will. He had no allies, no guidance, and no roadmap to follow. But the fear of being crushed under this system drove him to adapt. Could he turn this bleak situation into an opportunity for survival, or was he doomed from the start? Every step he took was fraught with danger. The nobles were powerful, arrogant, and merciless, while the game's mechanics seemed stacked against him. Yet, he had an advantage, a hidden knowledge of how this world worked. He remembered the intricate details of the dating sim, the storylines, the characters, and, most importantly, the pitfalls. Using this knowledge, he began to navigate his way through the chaos. But knowing the game's script was only half the battle. What he didn't anticipate were the hidden variables, unexpected events and actions that veered off the original plotline. How could he account for the growing unpredictability of this supposedly pre-written world? It wasn't long before he caught the attention of those around him. One of them was her, a noble with an air of mystery and a sharp wit. She saw through his facade, recognizing the intelligence he tried to hide. Their partnership was unexpected. She, a powerful aristocrat, and he, a mere background character. Yet, their alliance was built on mutual benefit. She had influence, and he had the knowledge to predict the twists and turns of the game's narrative. As they worked together, an unspoken bond began to form. But every glance, every conversation left him wondering, was she helping him out of genuine interest, or was he just another pawn in her game? The world he found himself in wasn't forgiving. Challenges came from every direction: jealous nobles, dangerous rivals, and even the game's main characters. Each one posed a threat to his carefully laid plans, yet he refused to back down. His determination to escape this world grew stronger with every obstacle. He used his wit, his knowledge, and his courage to turn the odds in his favor. But every victory came with a price. The weight of his choices bore down on him. How much of himself could he sacrifice before he became unrecognizable? And would he ever find a way out of this relentless game? As he climbed the ranks, he began to wonder, was this truly a game, or was it something more? The people around him weren't just characters. They had hopes, fears, and dreams. He started to notice things that didn't align with the game he once knew. Conversations that went beyond their scripted lines. Emotions that felt too raw to be artificial. Was this world alive in ways he couldn't understand? This thought lingered in his mind. If this was more than just a simulation, could he change the story? Could he alter the fates of those destined to suffer? Or was he merely a pawn in a game beyond his control? His actions didn't go unnoticed. The more he interfered with the game's narrative, the more chaos he unleashed. Rivals grew more dangerous, alliances became fragile, and the delicate balance of power began to tip. Yet, with every risk he took, he found himself drawn closer to her, the noble who had become his closest ally. Together, they faced challenges that tested their loyalty and resolve. But even as their bond grew, he couldn't ignore the possibility of betrayal. Would their partnership survive the mounting tensions, or was he setting himself up for heartbreak? As he delved deeper into the game's mechanics, he discovered something extraordinary, an ability that set him apart from everyone else. It wasn't just knowledge of the game, but a power tied to his unique position in this world. This power gave him an edge, allowing him to rewrite certain aspects of the story. But wielding it came with consequences. Every change he made altered the course of the game, creating ripple effects he couldn't predict. The more he used it, the more the lines between player and character began to blur. Would his newfound power be the key to his freedom, or would it lead to his downfall? Just as he began to feel in control, a new threat emerged, one that jeopardized everything he'd worked for. The game's central storyline was reaching its climax, and the stakes had never been higher. He was no longer a mere background character. His actions had thrust him into the spotlight, making him a key player in the unfolding drama. But with this newfound importance came danger from every corner. Could he survive the final test, or would the game claim him as its latest victim? The answer lay just beyond the horizon, shrouded in mystery and danger. Would his courage, wit, and determination be enough to defy fate itself?